Wine2Africa, c'est bon.
A very warm welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Diaspora Colors. I am HOTTENSIAH MUCHAI. In studio with me are two phenomenal and ambitious ladies that I am so happy to host, Patty and Elizabeth. Welcome to our studios.
Thank you.
It is such a pleasure to have you here. Patricia, we could start by you.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about
I'm
yourself.
Patricia Cherotschiltsch, and I'm one of the co-founders of Wine2Africa.
And I'm Elizabeth Hartig, and I'm also the co-founder of Wine2Africa.
Awesome. Wine2Africa. Where did this whole concept come from? Because the first time I heard about it, I'm like, wow. So entrepreneurial, so business-minded. Tell us more.
Yeah, so the foundation now, we started already with a project about 2 years ago. And this started, of course, with a passion that we have for wine. Since we met, we've been doing a lot of wine tastings, and after my studies in export, we decided maybe we should make a research about wines in Africa. So we checked out and we found out that the market is still open and it's something that we can break through. So after the research, we opened the company, registered it here in Austria, Wine2Africa, like the name says it, yeah, all. And after that, we took a wine course at the Austrian Wine Academy, where we did a basis course of wine. And after that, we came back to Austria and we started looking for wineries that we thought could enter these markets as well. And from there on,
The journey began.
yeah, the journey began.
How did you guys meet?
We met 10 years ago, and I was still in Kenya, and she was already here. I met her mom, and by coincidence, and the mom said her daughter is in Austria. So we got in touch when I was still in Kenya. She was here, and we met, and as in the rest is history.
Yeah.
As in we are here where we are, and we've been good friends. We are both moms, and we enjoy our journey as business women, and together I think we are
We're a strong
stronger.
team.
Yeah,
That is great.
team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
always working as a team, and people who understand each other, you go far.
Yes,
Exactly,
Fast.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes,
And
yes.
how was the journey? Speaking of the journey, how has the journey been for you?
I think we started looking, when we started the company, of course, we started contacting Austrian wineries because, of course, we have to get the wine from somewhere. So, and it was a really positive response from the wineries, and I would say like 80% of the wineries that we contacted, they gave us a positive feedback, they gave us their price list, and they gave us all the information that we needed from them. And then through the Austrian Chambers of Commerce, especially like in Nigeria, we went for a trade mission because our company, we do B2B business.
Yes.
So we are an exporters, we sell to importers the wines, our wines. And we went to Nigeria through a trade mission where a whole week we met different importers and we introduced ourselves, we introduced the wines, and out of the ones we met, we picked the ones who we could do business, we could get into a relationship with, and yeah, and that was our first step even. And then in end of last year, Patricia went to Kenya, to East Africa to be precise, and she met also importers there. And I've been to Kenya this year, that was in March, and I did wine tasting in Kenya, in Nairobi, and I was supposed to do also in Mombasa, but never materialized due to many reasons. But look, it's a challenge, and you take it as it is.
Right.
And, yeah.
Speaking of the importers, because you're doing B2B, how was the response of the importers telling them, hey, you know, we're in Austria and we have wine and you want it. You know you want it. How was the response from the importers?
Yeah, that was at first, of course, very crazy because the first thing was meeting two African women selling Austrian wine. Yeah,
Right.
so they're like, you're all the way from Kenya going to Austria and then selling wine to Africa. I said, yes, exactly. That's how the story is. And they took us the way we were, and we really never had any problems dealing with our importers, and we had such a nice time. And like Muringi said, we had to really be precise and choose the ones that we could work with, because not everyone was really specific with what they wanted. And we're very lucky to have Austria as a country that has different types of grapes, which you can hardly find anywhere else in the world. And so for this, we can strike the balance to have different wines to meet the demands for different African countries.
Right.
Yeah.
And have you faced any challenges during this journey?
Yeah, sure. At the beginning, of course, was the research. When writing the research, we had to make really hard choices, wise choices, I would say. And for every choices, there are consequences, and we had to check if the choices were worth the consequences. And with the problems that we also faced, we were like, in every problem, sometimes there is an opportunity in disguise. Yeah, and we went through with it.
Yeah, and also I'd add, it's also the bureaucracy. I think so many African countries, the bureaucracy to get through that, it's a problem. Sometimes the laws are not so clear. It also doesn't meet the international standards. And it's a challenge. And we see it as a challenge, and we also want to be part of the solution in these challenges, especially when we think this is what they expect from us, or what they expect from wine doesn't meet the international standard. So.
And would you say, talking about the challenges and all that, when you're pioneers in something, that comes without say. Are there any other players in the industry that you've met, or are you saying that, wow, this is an opportunity that we can take and run with?
Yes, not for Austrian wine. They will come in the future,
Definitely,
I'm very
yes.
sure.
Yeah.
But it's in a business, you need competition, because if you don't have competition, you don't feel challenged.
I agree.
Yeah.
So we'll be happy if there is competition, but at the moment there is no competition for us in the African market for Austrian wine. But of course you have big players like Chile, there's Spain, there's Italy, there's France, but look, they don't have Grüner Veltliner, they don't have a Zweigelt, they don't have a Blaufränkisch,
Yes.
and that's our catch. So
And that's where you run with it.
Yes.
Great. Speaking of that, what are your current projects right now? What are you working on?
The plans for the next few weeks, of course, is entering some new markets. At the moment, we are planning on doing a wine tasting in Uganda. We have the wines already in Uganda. Yeah, we could say yay. Yeah.
Yes.
So if you're in Uganda, go get some
Awesome.
Austrian wine.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And so we are going to have an activation to really bring in the big players in the market and let them have a taste of Austrian wine. And as well, we are thinking by the end of summer that we are also going to do another wine tasting in Nigeria.
Great. You're dealing with other companies.
Yes.
Are there any plans to deal like with the direct, market, the consumer, to know how they receive this, how they receive when you tell them wine tasting? I understand now
Yes.
that I'm here, but
But-
I go home and I'm like, you need to know how to twirl.
Yeah, but I did that. Like when I was in Kenya in March, that was my part of my job, like educating people. You start from how do you hold a glass? And at what temperature do you drink a sparkling wine or red wine or white wine?
Right.
And this is something that we want to give to our importers too. And because we want to, if we sell the wine, we just don't drop the wine there and say, like she said, we're going to do an activation. The activation will not just be showing them the wine, but also educating them about the wine. And I think somebody who knows about your wine, they will just buy it maybe because they like the label, but will they come back tomorrow? And we want them to come back tomorrow. So we want them to appreciate a Grüner Veltliner, and that way they will come back tomorrow.
And you're therefore presenting a full package, not
Exactly.
only the
Yeah,
wine,
we're not
but
only
everything.
exporters. Yeah, we are
Right.
also doing a lot of awareness, creating awareness. It's not only wine tastings. We do a lot of social media marketing. We also help with marketing in the country at the same time. So we are doing an after-sale service, as you might call it, for the importers as well.
It sounds great.
Yeah.
And do you look at partnering with other exporters, or are you staying as Wine2Africa?
No,
Because let me tell you, the idea is so great, and you're already fast players in the industry. How are you going to expand? Because this is great.
Yeah, the thing is, look, as a small company, and maybe you've not made money, it's very difficult for somebody to come to sell your idea to that person, because most people look at the money. Where is the money? And if you tell them that the money will come maybe in 3 years' time, it might be not so interesting, and they might want to come back when we've grown so far.
After the 3 years.
After the 3 years.
Yes.
If we get somebody who is, as in, we need a lot of, we are new in the business, and there are people who've been in whatever kind of business, they have the experience. If we get somebody who can give us this experience, yeah, and be part of Wine2Africa, we'll happily take the person in. But
at the moment, we are happy to play the two women show.
Exactly.
Yes.
You know your vision and you know where you're heading, and that is where you're going.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everyone else can join in later.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, exactly.
And you call the shots.
Yes, and we'll be ahead of the game. So
Yes, and that is always a plus because you have already experienced a lot, and sometimes it's about the experiences.
Yeah, true.
You
We
learn.
learn in every way that we've started. We've always been learning, and this is such an interesting journey that we are taking, and we love every step of the way.
Great.
Yeah.
We've had the feedback that has come from back in Africa. How has the feedback been in Austria, in the African community that you're doing this? In the Austrian community, these two women, phenomenal, ambitious, running with this business idea. What has been the feedback?
Yeah, well, of course, positive, yeah. You never know about the negative ones because you don't see them or hear them.
You're too busy.
And that might be. Yeah, but so far we are so happy with all the feedback that we are getting.
Awesome.
And we are also getting a lot of attention from our wineries, who are co-partners, as we may say, and the importers who are supporting us in every step of the way. We also work with like Moringi said, with the Austrian economic chambers and with the Austrian wine marketing, who've been with us all throughout. And we're really thankful for these people because without them, we wouldn't be having Wine2Africa.
no, not really.
No.
Yeah,
So
because,
phenomenal.
And
to
also
just
our
see.
families, yeah. I mean, they are our number ones. They're the ones who have been supporting us from the beginning. And Wine2Africa is our second baby.
I can tell you, even just from the name, you can already tell that this is big.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
this is big, and people had better get ready.
Yeah.
It's amazing, especially that it's women behind this and taking it to the front and going into this market.
Yeah.
It's amazing, and I am glad that I am part of your journey. So glad to have you here
And we're
in
very
studio. We are
thankful,
definitely going to be watching, and I hope that we can have you back again.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
And
Sure,
for
thank
that, I want us to toast
Yes.
Yeah,
to
well,
Wine2Africa.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yes.
Well, we'll do
Maybe,
this.
Patti, you can tell us what wine are this? Some of the wines
this
that
is
you're.
from Soto. This is from the Wachau. It's a sparkling wine. It's a rosé. And Wachau is a region in the lower Austria.
Right.
And they're very famous for the wine Grüner Veltliner and the Riesling.
Right.
Because of the terraces, they have a different terroir. And so they grow there so well. And this is one of the sparkling wines.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Sounds good. So that is going to pop, right?
No, I'm going to give it my best shot.
Ooh.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
Okay.
All right.
There we go.
There we go. Now we are going to toast to Wine2Africa, a great company. These two wonderful, phenomenal women have decided to take the bull by the horns and show you what business is all about. And for that, you have to tell me, one, how I hold the glass, because I am the one who will do
The
everything.
first problem is it's not the right
It's not the right-
temperature, but
Okay.
we'll
And that is
drink it.
why it is actually overflowing.
No, because I brought it here, so it's gone through a lot of
Shaking.
shock, and
Okay.
that's why we have this. But it's going to settle down in a moment. So there we go.
All right.
So,
That is how we hold it. Am I learning?
Yeah, you can
This
do
is for
that.
you.
You can also hold it. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. And Liz, this is for you.
And we're also very thankful, yeah, for you having us here, hosting us.
It is such a
It's
pleasure.
been such a wonderful
It is
time.
such a pleasure, and
Yeah.
I think it's also very motivating, you know, for especially women who move into the diaspora and have all these dreams. You have every reason to keep following your dream, no matter what.
Yes,
you just never
exactly.
know. And to have examples and to have people that you can look up to and say, if they did it, I can do it.
True.
Yeah, but I think that's the thing in the future that women, you know, you should just believe in yourself.
Right.
Have a big
Have a
dream.
goal.
Yes.
Dream big.
Yeah.
And you'll always find a way to get there to your
Right.
big dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
To
cheers.
Wine2Africa.
Cheers.
Am I holding it right?
Yeah.
Cheers.
To Wine2Africa.
Cheers. Thank you again.
To
Thank you.
Wine2Africa.
Cheers. Thank you very much.
You've been watching Diaspora Colors for Radio Africa TV. I am HOTTENSIAH MUCHAI.
Cheers.
Maisha marefu.
Kamaya, 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 kamaya. Kababereke, makababereke.
The African diva, I got no fear. Yes,